Welcome back to the last match in the opening day's play in the Wildcrest Parks World Seniors Championship 2012. Some great matches already this afternoon and this evening, but it's time for the big one. The Whirlwind against Mike Hallett.
Right, here we go then. Welcome back to Portsmouth. World Snooker proudly present the Wildcrest World Seniors Championship. Time now to meet our players, and the waiting's over. It's the former world number 6, Mike Hallett, and the People's Champion, Jimmy White.
The whirlwind of London town, Jimmy White. How the devil are you, sir?
I'm very well, thank you, mate. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How was your game? You got a new cue there as well, the first time in 20-odd years. You playing well?
Yeah, I'm playing well. We've done a Snooker Legends tour with O'Sullivan. I played him 6 times, and we played to 1300 the other night, so there's a lot of atmosphere there. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. I'm playing well.
Did you win?
I lost that one 5-4.
Shouldn't have asked, should I?
3 each on the 6 matches, so not bad against the Rocket.
What's it like when you play in front of a packed crowd like this, still, and people are screaming and shouting, and everyone wants you to win, Jim?
Well, that's what we play for, you know. That's why I play. You know, my game's not as consistent as it was, but when I do hit a bit of form, I can beat anybody. So while I've still got that, I'm going to carry on playing.
Now, Mike, any other day, everyone's going to be rooting for Mike Hallett, but whoever comes up against the whirlwind, Jimmy White, they're feeling exactly as you feel now.
Yeah, absolutely. When the draw came out a few weeks ago, I was not delighted because obviously Jimmy's still playing great snooker, but it gave me a buzz, and I've been looking forward to this evening ever since that draw.
Itching to get ready, itching to play this game. You fancy your chances against the whirlwind?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to give it a go. I know he still plays a good game, but let's see what happens, eh?
Let's see what happens indeed. Jimmy White, Mike Hallett, best of luck. Well, if you have a question that you want me to ask either of the boys, Jimmy or Mike, you can tweet me at Sky Snooker. Right, last match of the evening. Let's hand back to our boys in the box. Still folds and first up.
Mike Hallett to break.
Well, Jimmy White is clearly the favourite for this match, but Mike Hallett is still, at the age of 53, capable of playing pretty well in patches. His problem is that he's always getting offers to commentate, and when you're commentating you can't be playing or practicing.
Yeah, I know he still fancies the job a little bit out there in seniors events, and I know that he always talks about making a new effort to get back on the main tour.
But in the meantime, a living's got to be earned, and he does that chiefly through commentating. Like me, for anybody who'll have him.
Well, he's offering his hand there because that's not worked out badly at all.
Thin safety back to balk, but not off that red. Jimmy White, 50 years of age, 51st in the world rankings currently.
And they're the ones I suppose you've got to get, hand on the table, but not easy. Again, what has he left? I think he's got away with it again. I say he's got away with it because he's left this one at long range, but there's nothing to the bottom left pocket, which he could have done.
I think it's very important for Mike Hallett to pot a couple of decent balls early on. I say that about anybody who appears on television infrequently. If a player like that falls behind, they often get worse and worse. As recently as last season, Mike Hallett won the first 2 frames against Ronnie O'Sullivan in a Players' Tour Championship event. He lost 4-2, but shows that he can't be taken too lightly.
Mike will not be able to resist this. Let's red to the left corner. He knows the black's available if it goes in. Good shot. Played that perfectly. So he has the first chance.
Eight.
He's asking for the black to be respotted. Perfectly within his entitlement to do that. John Williams just holds his hands up there as if say, well, I think it's where it went before.
Nine. My college, 9.
That's just what you don't want to do in the early stages. Fail at a black from its spot.
Yeah, it went comfortably as well. This is the kind of shot always looks worse when it is the red on the way through, but probably would have rattled in the jaws otherwise. Now this is Jimmy, who waited patiently for something to go at and got something to the middle pocket, something to the right corner. The one in the middle gets him on to the pink.
One.
Stayed down on it, wasn't absolutely sure. He was bitterly disappointed last year not to retain his title as seniors world champion that he'd won the year before. And he lost to Darren Morgan. It really was choked about losing that match.
7. Eight.
Black on spot, quite a few loose reds. Looks promising.
And he's got into that too much for the red that he wanted, I think. He played on the red sticking out to the right of the little bunch. So the one he's left with now is awkward. If he pots it, he hasn't got a clue where the cue ball will go. They're playing a different red. No, he didn't fancy that at all, so he ran away.
Give me white, 15.
Got into that previous black too much, I think.
It's quite a long time since Mike Hallett was appearing regularly on television, and quite a few people will have forgotten what a good player he was.
It's strange, isn't it? Mike is better known almost for that match that he lost, that Masters final, where he was a long way in front against Stephen Hendry at Wembley.
Yes, 7-0 and 8-2. Mike led, but he lost 9-8. Reached another Masters final and won a ranking title, the Hong Kong Open.
Yes, I remember that. He beat another one of the seniors players in the final, Dean O'Kane. I think he just pushed a little bit of side on that, played it with left-hand side, and it goes immediately the wrong way. That's why he missed it on the thick side. Not quite settled into his game yet.
One.
Oh, that's a really good shot to hold there. Always see that shot drifting past the red so that he can't get to the black. It was a nice touch from Jimmy. Not so good that time.
8. Nine.
No position though.
Brown ball.
Oh, I think he has to go for this. It's Brown. Had no choice. Couldn't really play a safety shot.
Jimmy White, 9.
Although that has finished safe. The back heel, nicely played.
Time clock in operation.
Yeah, I think he's forced into this long pot and hopes to get the cue ball around to a gap, getting out of that harm's way between the black and the reds.
One.
It didn't quite work out that way.
Blue ball. Mike Hallett, 1.
Classic shot to nothing. Would have been safe if the red hadn't gone in. Black was always going to be available if it did.
I was going to say, it's not an easy shot to get from black to the next red. Surprised he didn't even look at the brown there. He's so keen to get the black on its own spot. It was not an easy positional shot, that one that he tried. He's got a shot at the red though, into the left corner. He doesn't fancy it though. I think Jimmy's got to be a bit patient here.
Jimmy White, 8.
No, I suppose you always chance you might leave the red that you played there. That's what happened. Another chance for Jimmy.
One. Six. Seven.
Frame clinching chance this.
Just checking what goes to the left corner. There's the red to the right of the pink pot. I think that's what he's looking at.
Nine.
Well, I think, as you say, it was a frame-winning chance there, Clive, but it was a disappointing shot. Lost control completely there.
Touching ball. Black.
Well, he's touching. It's the only good thing. So he can play the black and just play away. That's a little gem. Great shot. So he didn't win the frame, but the next best thing was to put Mike Hallett in trouble. This was a shot before. Played. Can you assume he played round the back of the black there? Mike asking for some help. Any ideas, he said.
Nice escape that, and hasn't left an easy pot.
He's still trying to pot this in the middle. Great shot. It wasn't easy, as Clive said, but very well done. Now this should be the first frame for Jimmy.
8.
Yes, Mike just hasn't had a clear-cut chance.
9.
Yeah, not since he missed that black early on off the spot. I agree, nothing's really been there for him.
Yeah, I was forgetting that. That was a good chance.
16.
Very difficult for the guys that are no longer on the tour, I think, to beat main tour players. So Dennis
20.
losing to Nigel Bond. Of course, he beat him last year in the same round, but these guys are just generally very much sharper.
21.
They don't make as many mistakes.
And also, I guess it comes down to the fact that the players that are no longer on the tour are no longer on the tour for a reason, because most of them have dropped down the rankings a little bit. The reason I retired from playing for the same.
29.
Whereas, of course, Jimmy's been around so many years. All that talent has stood him in great stead. Not the player he was, I think he'd be the first to agree, but he can still play this game.
And he also loves it because it's no chore for him to practice most days.
$41.
Bit more like it.
47.
Always been good at playing shots to the crowd. Look at this. Perfect.
So, with that very nice 54 clearance, Jimmy White leads Mike Hallett by a frame to nil. Chappell, who's been off the tour 12 years, beat Tony Drago, who's still on it, 2-1. Tony Knowles recovered from the loss of the first frame to beat Carl Townsend 2-1. Elaine Robidoux beat Les Dodd 2-0. And in the final match of the day, Jimmy White is leading Mike Hallett 1-0.
Second frame. Jimmy White to break.
Well, that's a break like I played in the seniors last year. Cue ball back into the Reds. It's not worked out too bad, but it's not the break-off shot. It's amazing how players can get that shot wrong, isn't it? You think it's the most frequent shot you've ever played. Played hundreds of thousands of times in his life.
But on this occasion, he hasn't left Hallett a thing.
No, he was entitled to stick one there.
Well, that didn't reach.
Can only assume that he glanced a red on the way out of the pack there, but I was looking at the same thing as you.
Perfect. The older he's got, the better Jimmy White's safety game has become.
Well, that's a pretty decent shot. That's his couple of shots ago. Yeah, must have been a touching ball, Clive, mustn't it? Probably didn't hear John Williams say it. That explains that, doesn't it? Mystery.
One. Six. Seven.
If White's going to make a substantial break here, he's going to have to do it without the aid of the black.
Thirteen. $14.
Yeah, it's pretty one-sided so far, this match. Mike's not really played. That one opportunity, since then, nothing much. He's a little bit lower in his chair than he was when he first started, Mr. Hallett over there.
Gave himself the best possible chance by having a day's practice yesterday over at Woking Snooker Club, but swatting the night before the exam doesn't always yield the desired result.
19.
I suppose you've got to make the gesture, haven't you? Yeah, of course, we were over in Guildford Thursday night doing the Premier League, Clive, Mike and myself, and I think that was the nearest port of call over in Woking. Well, maybe he's going to get another chance to prove himself here yet.
Jimmy White, 19.
Well, the red that he would like to play, I believe, has been covered. It's a bit of a slower walk from his chair than would be usual. I don't think he particularly fancy this one.
Because at the back of his mind he's thinking it should be easier. Not a bad shot in the circumstances.
One.
No, excellent shot and credit. And he's just looking at what is available. Obviously the high value colours not on. Could possibly get the pink in play though within a couple of shots if he can pop the reds that are close to it.
Seven.
Oh dear. It's the one thing he wanted to avoid going into the yellow.
12. Mike Hallett, 12.
Had to take a chance for position and isn't on a colour.
So two reds went in there. Must be in a bit of a hurry to get this match done. Potting two in one go.
Jimmy White, 2.
Oh dear. That's gone horribly wrong.
One.
He's overhit that one a lot. He played on the blue. Green is available though. It's not too bad.
Green ball.
I think all the players have been slightly found out by the speed of this table. It is lightning quick. I think probably has got quicker.
5.
The TV lighting on it over the course of the day. Said earlier on, these are conditions you cannot reproduce in a club.
9. Ten. Sixteen.
Took the opportunity to cannon the red into a better position, and the black does go to the corner.
Yeah, I mean, it would be a big shot to play. And of course, Jimmy's always been one of the great rest players in the game. But this definitely is not an easy one.
It's too long, isn't it?
If nothing else, he's blocked the pocket with the black coming back towards the red. So on the balance of play today, Clive, who has been the most impressive, would you say?
Well, Darren Morgan in the opening match, I guess.
By a long way. By a long way. And he was up to 97% pot success rate well into the second frame. And no one else has played to that level. Doesn't mean that Darren's going to win it. Poor old Mike down at 57% there. It's a bit of a cruel stat to put up, isn't it, really?
5. Time clock in operation. Six.
Well, Rob on Twitter wants to know our predictions for the final, but bear in mind that after the quarterfinals it's redrawn anyway.
Well, I'll be happy enough to say that Darren Morgan will be in it from what I've seen. But providing they don't meet, I would expect Steve Davis to do pretty well. I thought he did well to come back and beat Cliff earlier on. And of course the man we're watching, playing the man on screen there, Jimmy White, still a main tour player, and if he can get through this match then he'll fancy his chances also. Sure, we've left a few out because we've got Nigel Bond in there as well, still on the main tour.
One.
Well, this is where Jimmy White clinches the match. Mike Hallett has not got to grips with it at all.
7.
On top of that, he's had a pretty unfriendly run of the balls. Several occasions he could have been left something a lot easier than he was. But nevertheless, pretty steady stuff from Jimmy White. Shows how match tight he is.
Yeah, come on for the run, I think, would be a racing term for it there. We'll be pleased to get through this match back tomorrow. The standard will improve tomorrow, I think, all round, as was the case last year. And It's turned out to be probably the most one-sided of all the matches, bar the match involving Darren Morgan and Joe Johnson earlier today, which seems a long time ago now.
$19.
Jimmy White has not played his absolute best, even at current levels, but his average game these days is pretty reasonable.
It's pretty safe to say that on a good day, Jimmy White is still a great player. Occasionally he's a bit inconsistent, but look at him go now.
Shame about that, but pretty impressive performance in the end, or it was developing into one. Jimmy White beats Mike Hallett by 2 frames to 0, and both frames were comfortable.
Yeah, confirmation of all our results from today. Drago lost, or this is this evening I should say, Drago lost to Tony Chappell, as did Carl to Tony Knowles, and Alan Robidoux beat Les Dodd, and we've just seen the whirlwind. Jimmy White beat Mike Hallett to book his place in tomorrow afternoon's quarterfinals, and that is how they line up. And Jimmy's opponent is Dean O'Kane, but we'll talk about that win first for you, Jim. Congratulations. Happy with your form?
It was a bit scrappy, first game. I couldn't really find the position of the white the first game, but best of 3, it's so quick, you know, it's very hard to settle.
Seemed to me a couple of times you're queuing well, but you just didn't get the rub of the green. A few times you pulled out decent shots and the white just kissed another ball and you found yourself out of position again.
I played to cannon the reds the last game when I had about 3 reds to get on. That went wrong and all the balls went safe. But, you know, it's all about winning, best of 3, so hopefully I can improve tomorrow.
Do you like it when everyone's on your back screaming and shouting at you? Do you like that pressure? Because you've played all through your career with that, Jim.
What's wrong with you? Of course, I love it. It's great. You know, people appreciate the way I play, so, you know, I've got a lot to give yet.
And Dean O'Kane tomorrow afternoon for a place in the semis as well.
Yeah, I've played Dean millions of times, so haven't seen him yet, so it'll be nice to see him before we play.
Jim, it's always a pleasure. Congratulations. Go and have an early night. The whirlwind Jimmy White, everyone. The whirlwind Jimmy White makes it into the quarter-final. So that is the end of day 1 of the 2012 World Seniors Snooker. We are back tomorrow afternoon at 1 p.m. We start with Davis against Morgan. That's 1 p.m. on Sky Sports 3 HD. And if you're wondering what the lineup looks like, well, it's very simple. As I mentioned, a repeat of last year's final is first up. Davis against Morgan is our first game. Then Jimmy White, the whirlwind, will be back on in our second game against Dean O'Kane. He just said he's played him a few